Hello everyone, today we'll find out how many enemies you have to kill in order to beat The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Considering the nature of the game, you'll probably commit hundreds if not thousands of kills during a single playthrough, but let's see how many you can actually avoid of those kills. Before we begin with the challenge, let's quickly go through the rules, and they are pretty simple. The first rule is that only the kills I commit count, so if an ally or an enemy kills someone, that doesn't count towards the counter, because I have no control over their actions. The same goes for cutscene kills because again I have no control over Geralt's actions at that moment, so there's nothing I can do about them. And lastly, I am not allowed to use the Axie puppet ability because that would make things far too easy after I'm like level 5, so I'm not gonna use it to make things more interesting. With the rules out of the way, we can now begin with the challenge. Our story begins in White Orchard, where we are immediately attacked by a pack of ghouls, and I abandoned Vesemir because I didn't wanna fight with them and kill them accidentally. That meant that Vesemir got injured, however, to make it up to him I bought him a chicken leg and he seemed happy enough. After that you're attacked by the three little Temerian boys, and in this game if you beat up your enemies you can actually kill them, so it's actually risky to beat them up. Best thing to do is run away from them, and that way you definitely avoid killing them. I then went to meet up with the hunter Mislav so I can find more information about the griffin terrorizing the village. He told me what he knew and asked me to help him with a few wild dogs, however I abandoned him because I had more important stuff to do. I went back to Vesemir with more information on the griffin and we went to hunt it down. The fight with the griffin was very hard. It was almost like it was taking so long because only Vesemir was fighting with it and I was just standing around and doing nothing. However, in the end, Vesemir killed the griffin, so that's another kill that I managed to avoid. I delivered the griffin's head to the Nilfgaardians and they gave me the information on Yennefer I wanted. In the end they even gave me some coin which I definitely didn't share with Vesemir. As we were about to leave White Orchard, Vesemir started a freaking bar brawl because somebody cheated him at Gwent. While I understood why he was so mad, I didn't understand why he had to kill every single one of the villagers there. It was a bit of an overreaction if I can say so myself. After Vesemir was done, cutscene Geralt did kill one guy, but that doesn't count towards the kill counter, and we met up with Yennefer and left White Orchard with no kills to our name. In Vizima the Emperor sent me to find Ciri, and I went to the village of Heatherton to find Hendrik, and there, even if you go to the right hut and find Hendrik's body, unless you talk to the villager beforehand, Geralt would not recognize that as Hendrik, meaning that he won't look into his boots to find the key to the secret door and won't find his journal. You also can't go to Crow's Perch or Kira's hut at that time, so you have to kill the 3 wild dogs in order to proceed forward and look into Hendrik's notes. I then decided to go to the Bloody Baron and heard the first part of Ciri's story. And considering that she has a small child constantly following her, you have to kill all the wolves that you face, and that means you have to kill 13 wolves while you run around in the forest and then kill the king of wolves for a total of 14 kills that you have to make in order to beat Ciri's story. I then went to see the Peller and his hut was surrounded by the Baron's henchmen. I told them that the Baron will have them hanged if they didn't leave, so they weren't happy about that, but they left the Peller alone. After that you have to go find Princess the Goat, and you may be attacked by wolves while you're searching for her, but the wolves don't give you any trouble because you can just run away from them. And when you find the goat, it's pretty straightforward. Aside from the part where she runs away and goes to the bear's lair. Normally you have to kill the bear, however I found out that you can actually avoid killing the bear if you use Axie on the goat, and it would actually start following you again, but you have to continue spamming it with Axie because if the effect runs out, the goat will just go back to the bear for some reason. Anyway, even though the goat moves 10 times slower when she's under the influence of Axie, you can finish this mission without committing any kills. After that we had to deal with the botchling, and there's 2 ways to deal with it. Leave the curse or kill it and let the Peller do the rest. If you decide to leave the curse, you will have to deal with constant attacks by wraiths, and In the end, you will have to kill a total of 10 wraiths before you're able to finally bury the Lubrekin. For that reason, I decided to kill the botchling, because if I do that, I only have to kill one enemy and I don't have to deal with the rest of the wraiths. So, considering the nature of the challenge, that was a no-brainer decision. After that, with the Peller's Ritual, you don't actually have to kill any of the wraiths that attack you, you just have to dodge them and keep the fire on so the Peller can continue his ritual, as the wraiths don't actually bother him. So you complete the ritual, go to the fisherman's hut and find the rest of the information about Anna and Tamara. I was done with the Baron for now, so next stop was Kira's hut and the Wandering in the Dark quest. There you face a few drowners after the portal breaks and Kira and you are separated. However, you can avoid them by just running away from them. After that, you have to deal with the rats, and if you're careful enough, you can destroy the nest without killing any of the rats. Kira would probably still be scared from them, but she'll have to deal with the rats herself. After that, you fight with a few wraiths, which Kira can take down, and a golem, which again Kira can take care of herself. And after that, you encounter the Wild Hunt, and they open portals to let the hounds in. And this is where Kira's usefulness ends, because Geralt can actually close the portals himself, you just have to use either Yrden or a Dimeritium bomb. Note, you can only use Yrden or a bomb after the hounds are out, beforehand you cannot close the portals. After that, Kira would actually help you with the hounds, however she would only help kill one of them, after which she's like, okay, my job here is done, you can kill the rest, Geralt. And she would not help you after killing one hound, so in order to close all 3 portals you have to kill a total of 7 hounds of the Wild Hunt, as the first 2 portals let out 3 hounds each and the third one lets out 4, so you have to kill 3 on that one. After I did 90% of the work, Kira had the audacity to fall in my arms and pretend like she was gonna faint. I told her to get herself together and we went to fight Nitral. In this fight, everything was going smoothly until the guy summoned, you guessed it, Hounds of the Wild Hunt. And just like before, Kira was useless against them. This time, however, it was because for some reason, even though she was attacking the hounds, she was not doing any damage to them. So no matter how many times she attacked them, she wasn't doing any damage, meaning that I had to kill the hounds myself again. This means that during this boss battle I had to kill another 6 hounds of the Wild Hunt. Thankfully at least Kira was able to finish off Nitral, and I left Kira hoping I would never see her again. Next was the Ladies of the Wood quest, and I had to find Johnny, and considering that the swamp is full of monsters, it was extremely difficult to find his prints without triggering a monster into a fight. Eventually, after a lot of running around, I managed to locate his footprints and find Johnny without killing a single enemy. This streak of no killing wouldn't last long, because for some reason Johnny kept running into the drowners and water hags. Naturally, I abandoned Johnny and left him to fend for himself and tried to recover his voice on my own. Unfortunately, with the harpies there, I couldn't loot the nest without killing them, so I had to kill the 3 harpies, as I couldn't find any way to loot the nest without killing all 3 of them. To make himself even more useless, after that Johnny doesn't even accept me giving him his voice back, so I had to kill the 2 drowners and a water hag that were there, and apparently didn't eat him for a few hours. After retrieving his voice, Johnny then runs into another pack of 2 drowners and a water hag, and then I went to the Whispering Hillock. I dodged the werewolf and spoke directly to the tree's heart. I decided to kill it because even if you try to lift the curse, you will have to kill at least 1 drowner and a water hag, so there is no point in doing that, and killing it is just easier. After that, in series story, you don't have to kill anything and you're done with the Ladies of the Wood. And we had to commit 10 total kills in this quest alone. After that, I went back to the Baron and reported what I learned. He told me the rest of series story, where she fought with a basilisk with the Baron's help. During our battle, the Baron made the final blow, so I count that as his kill, even though in the cutscene Ciri finishes off the basilisk. and that means that we're finally done with Velen, and we had to commit a total of 41 kills in order to complete the Velen part of the story, 27 made by Geralt, 14 made by Ciri, for a total of 41. I then went to Novigrad, and considering that you're hanging out with Tris for almost the whole time, she was pretty much handling all the enemies while I was standing behind her and waiting for her fireballs to finish the job. I did that with the one drowner in the basement and then with the 3 witch hunters we encountered while taking care of the rats. The search for Dandelion mission is pretty easy, as the only enemies you face are the drunks in the bar with Zoltan, who can be dealt with by Zoltan pretty easily. After that you talk with Priscilla and meet up with Dijkstra and the boys in order to discuss Cyprian Wiley. And when the bathhouse got attacked, I just stayed in the back pretending I don't exist. Dijkstra and the boys weren't very happy about it, but they still decided to help me find Junior, and the best way to proceed with that quest is to go to the casino, either pay to get in or use Axie, play with the guests, and get invited to the private area where you will kill the 3 thugs in order to free Rico. Rico will then give you important information you can bring to Dijkstra and proceed forward with the quest. The reason why I'm not trying to get in with Cleaver's men is because there are only 4 of them and they die pretty easily, and the casino is full of people, so if I leave the dwarves to kill everyone, I am pretty much gonna end up being screwed and have no way of getting rid of the other thugs without killing them. So after you're done saving Riku, what you need to do is gather up all the thugs you can to the top floor in order to try to escape through the front door by going out of combat because you're so far away from your enemies. This may not work from the first or second time, but after a while you should be able to gather everyone on the top floor and manage to escape just in time. I just hope Rick also manages to escape because he was kinda in a bad position there. You then don't have to go to the arena because you already have the information you need, and so we go straight to meet with Vernon Roach and Radovit. Then the most stupid sequence ever takes place because Radovit tells you that you can masquerade yourself as one of Junior's employees and that you're bringing new girls, right? And so you can go to a secret passageway that would help you avoid fighting everyone in the front yard, right? You only have to kill the 4 guys that are in the cellar and you wouldn't have any issues, correct? Yeah, that's true. You're straight up inside of the building. The issue is that when you go back after dealing with Junior, the secret passageway is just locked, so you have to deal with the guys anyway. And that's not even the superior option, even if the passageway was open. The better way of doing things is to go through the front door, kill those 2 guys, and then fight with all of the guys inside of the front yard. And you would ask me, how is that better? Well, you don't actually have to kill any of those guys. You're constantly being shot by crossbowmen during the fight, so all you have to do is watch for a long time and hope that the guys would shoot all their friends down. That would take a long time, but in the end of the day you don't have to kill anyone during this fight. After the final guy is shot by an arrow and you're only one-on-one with one archer, all you have to do is just use Ard on the archer, knock him down, and that would give you a chance to get out of combat and either enter the hideout or exit it. After that, inside of the house you can use a bomb, summon would be the best one, just to stun the guards and enter Junior's room. The guys would never actually try to save their boss, so you get easily to Junior without killing anyone inside of the house. After that you have to play with Ciri and you have to kill the 3 guys on the top floor and the 4 guys on the bottom floor. Interestingly enough, the guys on the medium floor don't actually try to attack you, they just hang out on their floor and they never try to attack you on the lower floor, but in the same way the guys from the bottom floor never actually go upstairs, so you have to kill them as there's no way to get away from them. With that, Ciri's memory ends and you have to spare Junior's life because we don't want to add his kill to the counter as well. And with the 2 kills you commit in order to enter the hideout, Geralt's tally goes up to 32, and with the 7 she committed series goes up to 21. You then go out of the house by using Summon again, and then out of the hideout by using Ardon the Archer. Then it's time to find Count Ruven's treasure. With the drowners inside of the sewers, you can just dodge them until you reach the end of the tunnels. You don't have to worry about anything as the door is already opened for you. Inside of the main area of the sewers, you have to deal with one drowner. However, just like with other enemies, you can get far enough from it so that you can proceed forward without killing it and open the door. After that, you go back to Dijkstra and you meet up with Triss in order to infiltrate Menge's hideout. If you value your time, you have to go through the whole torture sequence, as that way Triss would deal with everyone during a cutscene. Otherwise, you will have to wait for a very long time until she kills every single one of the witch hunters. The thing is very easy to deal with, as all you have to do is get the play correct and you don't face any enemies if you do that. After that, you go find Dandelion, and the only enemy you have to kill during this quest is the one witch hunter holding Dandelion. After that, Dandelion is free and you go through yet another Siri memory, where by my count you had to kill 8 more of Junior's men, as for some reason the crossbow guy was just never hitting any of his friends this time, so it was impossible to get him to kill them for me. That wraps up Novigrad, and we had to kill a total of 21 people in order to beat it, only 6 done by Geralt and 15 made by Siri. With Velen and Novigrad done, I had to go to Skellige, where our ship got attacked by pirates. However, I had the help of Captain Wolverstone and some random crew member who absolutely annihilated the pirates. Unfortunately, in the end, both died in the shipwreck. However, I couldn't care less about that, and I went to King Bran's funeral. Getting the Mask of Ouroboros was easy because the only enemies you face are illusions. After that, you have to fight with a few foglets in the next quest. However, Yennefer can deal with them easily and you don't have to do anything about them. After that, you go to Freya's garden. You go around, you might face a few wolves, however you can dodge them and stay away from them. You don't have to fight with Morgvark, even though if you fight him you don't really kill him, so that's also not something to worry about. You go get Skjald's body and Yennefer uses some necromancy on him. Back to Ciri, and for once she has an ally who can actually fight with her, so you don't need to kill any hounds or warriors of the Wild Hunt. You just have to wait for a very long time until Skjald kills enough of them so that you can proceed to the next part of the quest. And Skjald takes a very long time. You ride your horse for a bit and Ciri's party is over. With that, we also end Skellige's portion of the game, and we didn't have to commit even a single kill in order to beat it. This also means that we completed the whole first act of the game with a total of 62 kills. 33 for Geralt and 29 with Ciri. For Act 2 you get Uma and go back to Kaer Morhen. You meet up with Eskel in order to hunt a folktale. The folktale is pretty easy to deal with and Eskel can do that for you. After that you go meet up with Lambert and you have to get the phylactery some magical power. Unfortunately, you're attacked by harpies. However, if you assist Lambert with your crossbow, he can deal with the harpies easily. After that, he has to kill the drowners and water hag that are protecting the boat as well. Following that, the quest is pretty simple. You have to just avoid all spear tips, deal with the trolls, and the quest is complete. Finally, you have to deal with Yennefer, and as long as you keep your mouth shut, that's the easiest quest in the game. You just go downstairs and move a few boxes. Yennefer then lifts the curse and I had to go gather some allies, which allies were just Zoltan because he doesn't want me to kill anyone for him, and I forgot to do Leto's quest, so I was kinda late to do that one too, and I couldn't get Leto to join, so I went straight up to the Isle of Mists, where I had to find the 3 dwarves. To do that, you have to face 2 water hacks in order to find Ivo. I managed to get the first water hack to kill the second. After that, I finished off the second one, only for Ivo to just go ahead and kill himself. The next one was killed by a fiend. All you have to do is investigate the body and then run away from the fiend. You don't have to deal with the fiend at all. After that we had Gaspard, who fell asleep just as we were attacked by 2 foglets. The interesting thing is that you can abandon Gaspard and he will be fine. they respect him so much, I guess. That being said, this actually helps you so much because you can run away from the foglets and sneak the other way to avoid them, wake up Gaspard, and continue without issues because even if the foglets attack you, that wouldn't matter anymore. Unfortunately, the same does not apply for the harpy section because the harpies are always in the same place and there's nothing you can do to avoid them, so you have to kill the 6 harpies that are attacking you. The dwarves are happy that you managed to find one of their friends and let you see Ciri. After that, it's time to go to the Battle of Kaer Morhen, where for the first part you have to use Triss's invisibility as much as possible to close as many portals as you can. You don't have to kill anyone during that part. After that with Ciri you're supposed to go help Triss, but in reality you don't do anything, you just watch as Triss kills a bunch of soldiers. After that cutscene Geralt commits a few kills and then you have to go and close the gate while everyone else is fighting. Oh, I also recruited Termian, I had forgotten about him. Then it's the most difficult part of the whole fight, which is keeping Lambert alive. Which is very difficult because the guy is for some reason a magnet for damage. Eventually I managed to keep him alive, and for the rest of the battle all I did was close portals, hang around Eskel and do nothing. The battle was over, so Ciri and I went to get revenge for Vesemir's death. To do that I had to go get a coin from the bottom of a lake. There were 2 drowners that were annoying me there, but they were easy to deal with without killing them, I just managed to avoid them. After that I wanted Ciri to also prove her worth by fighting the Sylvan on her own, and then she went to kill the Crones of Korbak Bog. Unfortunately, she only managed to kill 2 of them. As for Geralt, he went to fight with Imlerith and killed him. With that, we managed to complete the second act of the game with only 10 kills, 2 for Ciri and 8 for Geralt. It was time for the final preparations quest, and first I decided to go with Avalar because his quest is the longest. I left him to fight with a few monsters on his own because I didn't want to take the fun away from him. And the only other enemies you face are 2 Hounds of the Wild Hunt, from which you can run away pretty easily. You meet up again with Avalar and go to see Chaos. In Ciri's quest, the only real enemy you can face is the guard protecting the horses, but you can easily deal with him without waking him up and steal the horses without any issues. Alternatively, you can just beat up Ciri's friend. As for the blindingly obvious quest, you have to deal with Dijkstra's men who are enchanted. For the first 2 that are on the top floor, you can just run away past them and get to the bottom floor into the sewers. Unfortunately, there you're stopped by 2 of them who you cannot run away from, so you have to kill those 2. And then when it comes to the fire elemental, at first I thought that it would be impossible to deal with it. However, Philippa was constantly shooting at me with her fireballs, so she kinda dealt with her own fire elemental herself. After that I captured her and it was time to go for the Great Escape quest. I faced a few drowners in there, however I managed to run away from them. After that I snuck around and got the lever I needed before the drowners attacked me. After that I ran away from them again and put the lever in its place right before I was attacked by a water hag and pushed it so that it can open the door. After that I ran away from the hag and got into the next area where I had to kill 1 ghoul in order to move forward and enter the prison. Inside of the prison I managed to push the 2 guards away by using art, so I didn't have to kill them. However, then I had to fight with 3 witch hunters who I couldn't avoid killing. Then I had to fight with a bunch of guards in order to get the warden killed. Again I used the crossbowman strategy and the archers didn't disappoint and they killed the warden. Eventually I managed to get away from them far enough so that I can go then and loot the warden and unlock the prison cell and get Yennefer to kill Sheila because I refused to have her blood on my hands. I then easily escaped the prison despite the best efforts of the few remaining guards. I went to the Emperor to request Fringilla's release and went to see how Ermion killed Madman Lugus in order to get some information on the Sunstone. I went to the Pearl Divers in order to ask a few questions about the Sunstone. They were attacked by a few drowners, however I didn't feel like helping them, so they died. On the bright side though, their boat wouldn't go to waste. After that, Yen, Ciri and I went to Avalar's laboratory. Ciri killed the golem and nothing interesting happened, so we went for the Sunstone, where Philippa destroyed every single drowner inside. However, for some reason she didn't feel like killing the last siren, which was the final enemy of the mission, so I had to kill that one siren for some reason. After that, everything went smoothly, we got the Sunstone and it was time for the final battle. There you start as Ciri and you have to do nothing other than get to Carantir, and when you get to him, all you do is fight him for a bit. Following that, you immediately are transferred to Geralt, where you have to finish off the battle with Carantir. In the end, you kill Carantir, but you don't have to kill any of the ice elementals he constantly summons, so that's only one kill you have to commit. You run around for a bit and then go to the final boss battle of the game, which is the King of the Wild Hunt. You easily defeat him, absolutely annihilate the guy, and this is the final kill you have to commit in the game, as after that you just run around again and go to talk with Ciri and Avalar. For the ending, the best one is the Witcher Ciri ending because you face no enemies during it. This means that we complete the third act of the game with only 9 kills to our name, all committed by Geralt. And for the final tally of the game, we have a total of 81 kills. 50 made by Geralt and 31 made by Ciri. That's it for the video, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any other challenge ideas, feel free to let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next video. Bye!